players on the team. So
It's going to be a battle of the uncreative teams.
yeah,
It's going to be mass farming everywhere. I would actually rate Burning a 10 as well.
yeah.
I think he's a 10 too.
Yeah.
That's God's.
Over-
So he's just
over
God's
Silent.
overruling every one of us. He's not even here. Why is he doing all these important hexagon work?
It's like Kawa. We have to stroke his ego a little bit,
Okay.
you know?
Okay.
Just give him a little,
All right, fair enough.
ruffle his hair,
You do
you
a
know?
lot of
Make him feel
stroking,
loved.
don't you, LB?
No comment. No comment.
Involved.
Anyways.
And of course, yeah, so that's Team DK, and they're going to be going up against Team LGD China.
They're not even a Dota team. They're just a bunch of male Chinese models, apparently. What's up these magazine covers?
I don't know, but they're good.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel they have some distractions, though. We'll talk about the biggest distraction in a second, but this is their carry player, Sylar. God's ranked him a 10. He is definitely one of the strongest carries in the world right now. Very reliable, very safe, very good at farming. Now this guy, he's got a lot on his mind. He's met Zhao Ji. I'm probably butchering her name, but Chinese girl was on a dating show.
yeah, no, I saw it. He was really cheesy, and he also said he was the best-looking player who played Dota or something, and if there was someone better at Dota than him, they weren't as good-looking as him.
Yeah, and if they're
Because
better,
apparently looks translate exactly into how good you are at Dota, which means, obviously,
well, just,
I'm amazing.
yeah, duh.
But yeah, that was funny and weird. Sorry, I have nothing else to say. I kind of want to smack talk him just a little bit there. Because he's got a hotter girlfriend than I'd ever have. At least, you know.
Shots fired at your former girlfriends.
Without having to pay for it.
Jesus. Yao, your 3-position player. Also quite good looking according to gods. He's your offlaner. Magnus, probably the hero we'll see most from him, although Xiaowe's been playing it lately. I still think Yao should be on the mag anytime they pick it. DDC, 4-position. Jungle player. Enigma occasionally comes out for him. Maybe a pocket hero that they look to use. Something that Xiao does play on occasion as well, but generally just kind of your standard supports. Urshaker, Chen, Leshrac.
I love how everyone's waking
Swag
up.
Master, SC, DDD. DD. Too many Ds.
You can never have too many Ds. if you run out of Ds, just go to Fs. and it's
What in
fine.
doubt. Your 5-position player, he retired, he unretired. Within a week, he was back to being awesome.
Wow.
And here we go. Look at this.
Well, apparently Sylar's a pretty good carry, guys. As for creativity, not a creative team at all. Quite predictable with their drafts, even with their laning. If they pick a hero, 9 times out of 10, you know which player is going to play it. And it means maybe DK can game plan and punish that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the storyline between the matchup, though. LGD, China, and DK, they have the strengths in similar places and weaknesses in similar places. So it's who plays best. And, you know, everyone will say, okay, this game's probably going to go long, but it's really exciting because they play their styles amazingly well.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see. So we'll go over to, once again, Lumi and Malini. What do you make of the team overall and some of the hexagon numbers, if you have anything to point out here?
I would swap the creativity between LGD and DK, because even though they both pick pretty much the same heroes, I think LGD like to mix up their lane a little bit more. Remember yesterday when they have Xiaowei started in the mid lane with Magnus, didn't have so hot of the second game, I think it was, and then game 3 they put Yao right back on the solo mid mag. He run off to the off lane, Nature's Prophet, did spectacularly. Sometimes you see Sylar even going solo mid with Lone Druid and things like that, or Morphling. So I definitely think they're a little bit more creative when it comes down to shuffling around their kind of the 1, 2, 3 players.
That's a very good point. So you put them at a 2
Yeah.
for creativity?
Well, because they're still like, 99 times out of 100 is still the standard fare.
Yeah, but in terms of hero picks and play styles, it's pretty much just the same.
Yeah,
They
pretty
pretty much execute the same 4 Protect 1 strategy almost every game. They like Spectre, Anti-Mage, Alchemist.
Although with that said, I think DK likes to run some sort of offensive trialing from time to time. They like to do like Alchemist CM Undying. That's definitely some sort of the most offensive thing that you could expect out of a Chinese team. And DK's ironically the team to bring it to you like that. So
Undying.
Undying.
Man,
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen Undying in like 3 months,
You'll
man.
see it hopefully today.
All right, then. So, yeah, how are they looking, Malini, while we wait?
No word from
No
Tusky. Tusky is in the game, but he hasn't said anything.
Okay, so
I'll just say Tusky.
yeah, so this is obviously the match we've got lined up for you. First is going to be DK versus LGD China. We can hopefully maybe go to the brackets and we can show you what's coming up for the whole day. Both games are going to be best of threes, and this is pretty far on into the tournament. So if you win this, you're still in the upper bracket, and you're going pretty much to the upper bracket finals. So that's where you want to be. Obviously, you want to be in the grand finals too, but one step at a time when you're up against the teams of this caliber. So you've got DK versus LGD China, a best of three, which will be kicking off in just a moment when they're ready. And then we're going to be going afterwards to the game that no one wants to miss, everyone's talking about. It's going to be Invictus Gaming versus Na'Vi. Looking forward to that one, and I think you'll be at the casting desk for that one, LD. I know you're excited about casting that game.
I'm very excited for it. I do want to mention whoever wins this match guaranteed a top 3 finish in the tournament, as they'll be in the winner bracket finals. Even if you lose your next 2 best of 3s, you still finish 3rd place. So.
Yeah. And I don't know if we got the lower bracket. We'll test Kawa's abilities, and this is actually where we're going tomorrow. So tomorrow, in the order of how you see him, it's going to be Zenith versus Orange, and then Tongfu versus LGD International. I got to see a little bit of LGD International yesterday. They had to win games with 30,000 gold.
35,000.
35,000, but the fact is they did it. So, and they want to prove something this tournament as well before going into TI. I'm sure all teams want to do. So it'll be an interesting day tomorrow as well when we come back for those 2 best of 3s. And the loser of those games, unfortunately, will be out of the Alienware Cup. But it looks like we're going to be getting ready to go into the draft. We're going to do things a little bit differently here today for the Alienware Cup. We're going to spice it up. So when we go over to Millennium Lumi for the draft, we're actually going to leave the mics open. So if we have anything relevant to say, we can talk. So I'm hoping you're going to make our segment of the draft seem a little bit better.
Yeah.
And then hopefully actually 15, 20 minutes into the game, Lumi and Melanie might check in on us and just actually see how we think the game's progressing. So otherwise, though, I think we can go to Melanie and Lumi to kick us off for the first match of DK versus LGD China.
Let's do it.
Yeah, this is LGD China versus DK, and we are in the upper bracket of the Alienware Cup. This should be a very exciting matchup. Both these teams play very much so a similar style. It comes down to basically who has the better standard A game, and your money's on DK?
Yes.
My money's on DK?
My rares.
Your rares also on DK. Well, then maybe I should switch the ban. But let's actually jump into the pick and ban here. As Alchemist is definitely the de facto carry for both of these teams, already removed. So I'm actually thinking that Anti-Mage might be kind of the
banned out.
Well, never mind, as that is also taken out. So
These are the 2 top tier carries that each team really wants. So Alchemist with the Grievel's Greed and Anti-Mage with the superior split push potential. They don't really want to take any big contest before 20-25 minutes. That's usually the play style of the both teams, and because of that, you can usually secure a Battle Fury for Anti-Mage around a 12 to 13 minute mark. Alchemist can probably get his a little bit earlier, around a 10-minute mark, and just farm away. And without these 2 power farmers in a pool, they may be forced to play at least a slightly bit differently.
at least a what?
What?
I think you had a Freudian
At
slip
least
there.
a slightly bit
Oh,
differently.
okay. I heard something else differently. But Bat Rider, because of things like Anti-Mage as well as Alchemist being banned out, is going to be in the pool. And I actually love it when Chinese teams play Bat Rider. It gives them that teeth that's generally not there for the Chinese lineup because they play a lot more defensively. But this is a team that's going to be looking to push and gank very aggressively. And to me, it really truly tests how well DK defend their outer tower. They're one of the best teams in the world holding on their outer towers, but it's so hard to do it against Bat Rider because his initiation path is just limitless. Just flying through trees, just going straight up with a Blink Dagger. And let's see whether they can do it with Visage and Dragonite as their first 2 picks.
You say that Bat Rider may give them some teeth, but I actually view it the other way. It allows them to turtle even harder, like Magnus. Magnus is not that great versus pushing just because the enemy team has more space to defend, to split up, so they can't get RPs. But as you push, Bat Rider and Magnus really shine because if you pull someone up your T3 or they're like clumping up your hill to try and attack that T3 tower, and you have one of those big ultimates, they can completely change a game around. So although Bat Rider can be the aggressor most of these times, I think that it will play a lot into LGD's favor because if they get behind in the game, they can always just resort to T3 turtling. We've seen them do that a lot.
Yeah, what it also gives is very, very strong laning. If we do see the Bat Rider versus Dragonite matchup on the mid lane, I really think that Bat Rider is going to completely shut down the Dragonite and basically force him to have basically like a level 6, and he's going to be completely under farm. Don't be surprised if Bat Rider doubles up on the CS on Dragonite. I imagine Bat Rider is going to be forced onto the off lane, and as LGD picks up another solo mid. but the option is always there for LGD.
So how many carries do you think each of these teams are going to pick? I'm pretty sure DK are going to pick another one besides Dragon Knight, and LGD is going to probably pick another one besides Gyrocopter. I'm not too sure on that, though.
I think LGD right now, with the option of Gyrocopter being a more early game oriented carry, they could just go for a quick 25-minute victory, 35-minute, just dominate all over the map. I know Bruno's laughing right now, but LGD definitely could take the early game as they are banning out mostly the carries. I feel like LGD picks a very kind of action-packed solo mid hero, like a Magnus perhaps, or Queen of Pain. They could just spread the map open and have Gyro to be their mid-game carry and just shut DK down before the game even gets into the 45-minute mark.
Yeah, the problem with that is Visage just owns triple lanes, though, and that goes into DK's favor. So if they do choose to play aggressively in that, they might be taking on more than they can chew. So I think that they actually may pick up Spectre. Spectre seems to be like a carry of choice when these top tier ones are banned out, namely Alchemist and Anti-Mage, but it looks like Lifestealer has also been taken out, and Gyrocopter has been taken by LGD. We see a lot of teams, the first two bans against LGD every single time, Alchemist, Gyrocopter, and again, they're too predictable. Everyone knows what they're going to pick. Gyrocopter, no surprise there.
Yeah, actually, right now it seems like LD very excited to point things out as we do see Nature's Prophet being banned out as well. LD, what you got for us?
Well, my one big concern for DK right now is they've picked the Dragon Knight as much as it's their signature hero, and traditionally we've seen Dragon Knight struggles to win his mid matchups. There's a Batrider and a Gyrocopter, especially that Batrider, if it goes mid, could cause a lot of problems. Shao 8, if he takes the Batrider mid, that 1v1 matchup, he can dominate it, he can snowball. If he gets a fast blink, it could be a lot of trouble, and Visage isn't a great support for rotating to gank. So I feel like if LGD put a bat mid, that could pose a lot of problems here for DK.
Yeah, it definitely can. I do believe that Super is definitely the best Dragon Knight, in my opinion, in China. He is just so fast with that Dragon Tail, using it to initiate or even counter-initiate. It reminds me a lot like his Beastmaster. But for now, we're going to be going back to DK, picking up the third hero. Nothing but carries being banned out, so we're going to leave some very top-tier support like Rubik, Shadow Demon, things of that nature. Or do you think that teams will be securing their... well, Rubik is going to be picked up right now. Do you really think this is going to be a bad solo mid, or we're going to see a different solo mid from LGD?
I think it'll be a different one. I think there are a lot of different heroes besides Batrider that can shut down a Dragon Knight. Queen of Pain can do it. But again, they might go for more like a turtley lineup, passive lineup with Magnus. Again, Magnus, one of the best team fights. They do... I mean, it would work great with their lineup right now, especially with Gyrocopter. The main question for me is, can DK really change up from their lanes right now? We've seen Dragon Knight almost always mid, but is there the potential for them to do something different in the safe lane possibly?
I think if you run a run mode Dragon Knight, you really need things like that has a long initiation range. So Rubik gives you the telekinesis lift, and of course Visage gives you the soul or the Grave Chill. But generally, Visage don't take Grave Chill till level 2. So you have a very, very weak level 1 kind of tri-lane. And because of that, I think DK is mostly forced onto that solo mid.
Yeah,
and LGD knows that. So they could definitely pick around it and draft heavily against DK. I think LGD right now is winning the draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think Dragon Knight pickup wasn't the best. He doesn't really win the mid matchup, especially. I mean, I don't ever see him like straight up just win it. It's usually just a wash or a lose for the Dragon Knight, and LGD can really capitalize on that.
And they will pick up Naga Siren. So this is something that we've seen multiple times in the past from the Alienware Cup, mostly just into a Radiance Rush, right?
A couple of times we saw the support Naga Siren played by Brax yesterday in the LGD game, and he went Lincoln's first, of course, as support build. So he's not really going to be able to farm a Radiance, but I think Zenith was the one that used it as a late game farming role. So
Rattlesnake tried to take it late, and then the 30,000 goal lead came a little bit quicker than that, and the Radiance was never all
35,000.
35,000, my bad. I underestimated LGD's ability to take it late game, but Naga Siren here for LGD China. I imagine that's going to be the solo mid. I think that beats DK fairly okay. Her base damage is not where I want to be. But this definitely could be a one-row carry, as Gyro could also switch to mid, and I think Gyro also beats DK.
I don't think I've ever seen an Asian team run Gyro mid, though. Although I think he's actually pretty well suited for the role. He's very good with runes, with the DD and Flak and the haste, Rocket Barrage for chasing potential. Again, a little bit of predictable lanes from both of these teams.
Yeah, so LD, where's your thoughts on Naga Siren?
I think the Naga Siren's a pretty good pick here. It gives you a utility hero that doesn't need that much farm and is strong in the laning stage. Also minus armor, very important versus Dragon Knight. I think the most interesting thing for me is just how are they going to punish the Batrider pick? He can jungle, he can go mid, he'll dominate the 1v1 against Dragon Knight, probably doesn't kill a Clockwork, but should out-farm him in lane. There's so many options for LGD with their laning stage right now. They can run an aggressive tri-lane Naga, they can run an off-lane Batrider, a Gyrocopter mid, a Naga tri-lane. They have the much more versatile laning draft. Whereas you look at DK, and it's got to be a Dragon Knight mid. Clockwork's going to be one of the solos, most likely, and then it's just a tri-lane, Visage, Rubik +1. And as I mentioned before, Visage, Rubik can't really rotate that well.
They can't rotate, they can't gank. Jungle is fairly weak as well, as if, let's say, Batrider comes in and challenges jungle with a Firefly, there's not much you could do. So yeah, I just want to reiterate my point that DK very well winning the draft, despite being one less pick. Dragon Knight, or DK is going to select Clockwork as Jakiro being picked up here. Just a fairly stable support, long range, which is exactly where you want to be against heroes like Clockwork and Visage.
Yeah, decent combo with the Naga Siren too. They could potentially set up for a somewhat of a Mamo combo, not as flashy as many of the other ones, but Naga Siren, sleep into an Ice Path, into a Call Down, that would do just so much damage to DK. They only have one BKB hero right now, and also with this recent Clockwork pickup, they only have one Initiate / Counter Initiate, whereas LGD have Naga Siren, they have Batrider, and a well-placed Ice Path can stop a team fight in its tracks. So I think that DK needs more team fight potential. Dragon Knight isn't the greatest until he gets his items. He's just mainly there to be annoying and survive for many Dragon Tails to pick up kills later. Clockwork is okay, but he's probably going to lose his matchup versus the Batrider, and he can just Firefly over the cogs for the most part.
Yeah, I really don't think DK have any one hero left in the pool to pick that they could win the team fight. Like, I think team fight already very much so in the hand of LGD China. I think their best bet is actually to counter initiate. Bat jumps in, you lift him up, or bat jumps in, you hook him. So I think DK is going to be fighting kind of from a step behind. Naga Siren is going to be a big issue as well, because sleep is just so dirty in terms of initiating.
Right.
Rubik could maybe steal it, but any good Naga Siren will not give you that. Spectre being banned out here, as definitely DK needs one more carry.
Question right now.
This whatever the last pickup is.
Yeah, what's left at this point? There's not much for him. There's no anti-mage. There's a lone druid available.
Yes.
Do they turn to something like that here?
There's also things like Luna. That's pretty much most of his heroes, right? Unless we want to go like pretty old school.
You're asking who Burning's playing, right?
Yeah.
In terms
I
of
mean,
heroes,
there's like
okay.
really old school Drow Ranger, but
I reckon he should just.
They only have
I reckon
15
he should get
seconds.
Treant Protector, take it into the tri lane,
Yeah.
and farm with it.
get a Battle Fairy.
Dude,
Mask
I'm
of
telling
Madness
ya,
Basher?
I'm telling you, but no, it's gonna be Luna.
So as
Why
someone
don't they
you
listen?
expected,
Why don't they listen?
yeah, that's gonna give them a big boost of team fight. Although, again, Naga Mirror Image don't really care too much about Luna beams. You could sleep and walk away from that ultimate as well. Luna tends to get BKB,
Yeah, they definitely need a BKB hero.
and Naga eats BKB heroes alive, right? You sleep, everybody else can't do anything. You net the Luna, and then it's just a big clump.
By the way, I can't believe it, but Shadow Demon is still in the pool. We're 19 picks into the and bans into this draft. That hero's normally picked in the first stage or banned even.
yeah, he's
It would
really
be-
good versus
it would-
Batrider
It
too.
would be a great pickup as well here with Jakiro. I mean, when I saw the Rubik pick, I was like, okay, the Rubik doesn't have much going on at the beginning, and it might scare some of the, some important like team fight heroes in terms of them picking him up. But the Rubik doesn't look like he's going to have a good time. I mean, getting an Ice Path would be great, but if he's up against an SD as well, the setup potential of LGG Gaming is pretty insane.
And they can punish that clock if he hooks in. You just disrupt whoever's caught. I think it's good against Luna
I think it's a
because
great pickup.
it's a great counter to illusion-based heroes, which he generally goes for Manta.
Well, let's see if LGD China thinks like that. Maybe I feel like Shadow Demon is a little bit lacking in terms of damage output. Wow, it's gonna be a Naga support. A Sylar is gonna be playing the Lone Druid instead. Yao, it's gonna be quote unquote the off-lane gyro. It's gonna be offensive tri-lane coming out from LGD China. So we expected these teams to play passive, and they're taking the offensive tri-lane right into the grill of that Visage. Generally a very dangerous proposition, but do you think it's gonna work out here, Merlini?
I don't think so. I mean, Naga Siren is okay, but I think she's really good versus Lifestealer, and otherwise she is just lackluster at best. She's really great past 6 and onwards, and as a solely mid role, but in the triple lane, I don't actually think she's that strong. You need a lot of damage, and Snare doesn't really do any damage. Jakiro does minimal damage with his Ice Path, and again, you need damage in the triple lane regardless. We see Rubik fail sometimes, Shadow Demon fail sometimes because of lack of damage. I think that like Keeper Light again, maybe Gyrocopter can provide the brunt of it, but I think it's still a little. I don't think it's strong enough to take on a Visage.
Well, DK on the Dire today right now. MMY is going to be playing Rubik. ROTK on the offlane clock. Super is going to be playing a solo mid Dragonite. Burning the farming sensation on Luna. Last but not least, QQQ or 357 playing Visage.
And on the side of LGD China, we have Xiao 8 on Batrider. Looks like he is going to be taking the solo mid role. We have DDC on the Jakiro supporting. I guess he's just laying wards on bottom right now. In the bottom lane, we have Sylar on the solo lone druid. And we have Yao on the Gyrocopter. And last but not least, we have DD on the Naga Siren. So I think I like LGD's draft more. It just allows a lot more room for error, because if someone starts to get picked off, you can just Naga Siren sleep. If Batrider initiates, you can have a call down Ice Path. There's just so many things for them to start off team fights. And Lone Druid is also really extremely tanky. If they go on him, they can just pretty much unload all of their spells. On the side of DK, again, their team fight's a little bit lackluster. They're pretty much just waiting for LG to go on them and then just BKB and use all your spells like that. They don't really have any sort of clean team fight. There's no ideal way for them to go besides just LED trying to they're just trying to tank LGD's team fight lineup.
This is one of the most unique smoke I've seen in a professional game. It's just kind of a not exactly your first, second
Neat
smoke,
game sound.
but they're coming in from the right side and they are trying to kill Sylar. And they're predicting it absolutely correctly. This might be an offensive trialing switch. They're coming around. Sylar is... Oh, smoke's going to get revealed, and they will lift him up. Do they have soul assumption? Yes, they do. The beam's going to come down and have all the burst damage in the world, and Sylar's going to give up the first blood. I think DK could actually just switch up the trialing right now and sit here and outfarm Sylar. Is there any rotation coming out? There is none. LGD is going to sit with their lane, and Sylar... Here's the really terrible thing by giving up first blood on a lone druid. You don't have your bear for a full minute. You're basically a glorified range creep right now.
I'm actually surprised that he ran the way he did. He was over here scouting with his bear, didn't see anyone, and he went this way to go to the lane instead of taking the safe way through down here. When you don't know the opponent's lanes, and he didn't because they were smoked, you really have to play passively. We see a lot of the lone druids sit here down at the T1, and this is going to make it really tough for Sylar now, especially with this ward setup behind his tower. It's not going to be easy for Sylar by any means.
Yeah. Meanwhile, RTK having all sorts of trouble, but he's going to be in a safe lane farming whenever he gets back to that lane. But at that time, Yao's going to have probably boots of speed already up, and they could easily dive. You can see a Sylar just playing so passively now. One good thing about him is that his bear micro is absolutely insane. I don't think DK will be making any type of dives. They could find kills fairly easily simply by lifting up, and he's basically going to die because of that.
So we see a lane rotation already from LGD. DDC and DD are rotating bottom on the THD and the Naga Siren respectively. Sylar needs help.
Yeah, he really does. Oh, they do lift him up, and the beam should follow through very quickly. Is he going to go for the first spot instead? No, it's going to be Rubik picking up the kill here. And again, a glorified range creep not going to do a single damn thing. The support now rotate in, but how much are they really going to do being a full level behind now compared to the enemy trialing? It's so hard to recover when when everybody is down at a full level.
Granted, they do have the pool available to them. DK actually did not opt to ward that, neither using a sentry or an observer ward. They do have sentries on QQQ if they want to block it, but I assume they know that DDC is pulling. They have the ward there. Are they going to make a move?
Yeah, I'm checking out the mid lane right now, a lane that we...
DDC.
Oh, DDC in big trouble. He's tangling up, but the burst damage is so much, and they are going to get yet another kill. They are going to try to refocus on burning, but there's just really no early game damage. Like we talked about, DD on the run, being forced back. QQQ, lucky for them, is he has no mana left. They could have easily got another kill on top. DK dominating this early game. We expect DK to play generally passive, but there goes this offensive trialing, really taking LG China by surprise.
And checking out the other two lanes for LGD, let's see if their trade-off has been worth it, trying to sacrifice Sylar for the first couple minutes without having any support. Gyrocopter has 13 last hits and 6 denies compared to Clockwork 7 and 2, so about double. You generally expect a Gyrocopter to win this lane, although he is in the off lane, so pretty good trade for LGD up there. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Xiao 8 has a ton of denies. 13 less hits, 10 denies, and Super has 9 less hits, but only 1 deny. So, again, Batrider expected to win this matchup, and he's winning by a pretty good margin.
But I don't feel like he's winning enough to make up for all the deficit they have on the bot lane. Neither lane is winning enough. So I think LG definitely on the back foot of things. Gyrocopter boots of speed. And he's already being able to start to look up kills on an ROTK. ROTK got to be very careful of using his power cogs, because if he accidentally cogs the gyro within next to him, he's dead. So it's definitely one of the tougher lane for him, but he's doing okay for now.
And we saw DK just try and place a ward here. We saw Visage place a sentry ward at the Magic Bush. However, it did recently get dewarded by DD. They're trying everything they can to shut down his triple lane and secure farm for Burning. Burning at 13-11, not the highest CS for him at the point in the game. He's actually 3rd place for last hits right now, but he's been getting a lot of experience and a lot of assist gold too.
I really like this rotation coming out from DK. They're saying, hey, you guys rotated in your support. Really can't come in from the front anymore. They smoke up. Thought about ganking mid, but they're not the best mid gankers. They're going to smoke around, and they do lift up Jakiro. He's basically dead. Luna has Tranquil Boots, so he could really come in from afar. No, they're going to be backstabbing. Sylar is going to be running to the north and Burning in bigger trouble because that bear doing a ton of damage. They're now refocusing on DD. DD running south, gets lifted up, beam comes down, and they're going to get yet another kill. Luna's still in big trouble, though. Here comes Sylar. Nice body blocking. Can he run out? Dual Breath comes out, and they are going to get 1 kill. Trying to get the 2nd kill on QQQ. Here comes a Grave Chill, and QQQ should be able to run away. 1-for-1 exchange. The key thing for that engagement is that Sylar survived, and critically, Burning died.
Wow, now they pause and they actually ping out on Xiaowei. So Xiaowei is rotating in the middle. This was a terrible time for them to pause. I think they can definitely retreat right now. Grave Chill looks like it's only up for about 1.5 seconds, but it looks like one of these supports is probably going to die. He's only level 5.5 though.
I think MMY is going to die. QQQ should have enough speed to get out there. Meanwhile, MMY is somewhat stuck. He does have Boots of Speed, 200 gold in the bank, so maybe he could spend a part of it on getting a teleport score or something
Queued
like that.
up on that sticky buy.
Yeah,
that
man.
quick buy.
One of the more important things, but what an unfortunate time to have that pause. Yao has rotated to the mid lane now, and Dragonite is looking to help on the bot. Meanwhile, Clockwork getting some free farm up top.
Yeah, I think Clockwork should rotate once he's 6, but he's only level 4 right now. Very, very close to level 5. 13 experience away. I think that was a very nice block from Sylar there. He blocked the path. I can't actually draw on the map right now, but right above the side shop, you can eat a tree up there to try and take the short way back to the T3 tower, and Burning definitely wanted to go there. I saw him trying to go there, and he was like, okay, well, what do I do now? Ran back into the THD, got caught there, so I don't think that they would have picked up that kill had he not done that, because he would have been able to run away from the supports. Great awareness by Sylar there. He was the original target. Burning was playing very aggressively on him. Meanwhile,
and the supports are falling forward. What an ice path, and MMY is going to try his best to dodge that flame break. Not going to be there, and Sylar picks up himself a double kill. So what we kind of did not expect is the insane damage output of the Riptide, allowing Sylar and his bear to do all of the right click. And Sylar, I think he's right back in the game now, despite giving up first blood and the 2nd kill quite quickly. He's got boots. He's level 4, 5. He's gonna, once he hits 5, this trialing gets a lot more difficult for DK. I think they should look to abandon this trialing.
that was just good, so well played by Sylar there. If they had killed him first, I don't think any of that would have happened. They would just escape with a Sylar kill, been happy to farm and continue dominating this lane. But because he went up as soon as he saw them pop out of the smoke, I don't know whether they should have popped or traveled this way or this way, maybe be obscured a little bit more by the fog. But because of the really quick reflexes by Sylar, he's recovered quite nicely. Starting off 0-2-0, now 2-2-0, almost level 5 with phase boots. He's recovering much more nicely than I anticipated.
The thing that's most enigmatic to me, and I want you to get your opinion on this, is that why did they make that rotation? Gyrocopter was doing absolutely fine, 1v1 up against the Clockwork up top. Batrider's definitely beating DK. Why do you rotate your Batrider into the jungle? I mean, sure, you could technically get quicker farm for your Blink Dagger, but now you just leave Burning free farm up top, as DK is abandoning that tri lane and making the rotation from RTK bound to the bot lane. Why spat in jungle?
I don't exactly know at what time he did it. I guess the biggest fear of your off-lane gyrocopter is that you're scared about dying, right? And you're not going to die to the solo gyrocopter because he doesn't have enough tools in his belt to kill you that early. But if any of the supports rotate from DK using
You mean
a
die
support,
to the solo clock?
yeah, he's not going to die to solo clock.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gyrocopter's not going to die to Soul Clockwork, so the only reason he would leave the lane is if he thinks he's going to leave, or is he's going to get ganked by the supports by DK, or if he thinks it's going to be more farm in middle. But the wave wasn't really like pushed out to the opponent's tower. It was like still in this area, I believe. And I don't know. It was a strange move. I don't really know why they did it.
It ended up working out to the best because DK definitely rotated up top. The entire trialing gone there, and now Super is rotating there as well. They're looking to destroy this tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, there's a little bit of pressure being placed on the tier 1 on the bot lane by Dire as well. Here comes one rotation from the Batrider. He's 1,300 gold in the bank, so don't really want to die right now. Here comes a Flame Break, trying their best to at least protect this tower, but Glyph is already used, and there's no way you could get close because of that threat of the long-range Dragon Tail, and Bernie is going to last that tower. So I think this game is definitely back and forth during the laning stage. Gold chart is showing that slightly on the dire side after that tower destruction. I do believe DK is somewhat ahead, but not really far enough to really mean anything. And Sylar is getting some free farm. I do believe between Luna as well as Lone Druid, I think Lone Druid could definitely snowball a lot harder because he takes down tower and he gives your team so much gold. Luna may win you a team fight and take a tower or two, but definitely not in the same rate that a Lone Druid can.
Yeah, I think it really depends on this clockwork.